This week, we kicked off live streaming our episode recordings on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/lovethynerd. You should subscribe and come hang out with us. On today's episode, Bubba, Matt, and I do some digging into if the console wars are really, truly still a thing. Are people focusing more on the consoles that provide the games that they enjoy instead of turning that preference into a war? We also share our opinions on what we think might be the most overrated games, and that's what we want to talk about this week on the Free Play Podcast.
You are listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network.
Hey, what's up, nerds? My name is Bubba Stallcup, and you are watching and listening to the Free Play Podcast, part of the Love Thy Nerd.
So much freaking pressure
podcast.
You have caused much stress already today, Matt.
Hey, you think you can just step over my intro here? Like, we're still recording a podcast.
I usually do.
Part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network, and joining with me is Captain Interrupty, which is his superpower is like butting in Matt Warmbier.
What's up, nerds? Matt Warmbier here, part of the Free Play Podcast.
This isn't weird at all.
Coming
This
at
is really cringy.
Yeah, and also joining with us, Kate Katawaki.
Hello.
Hey guys, we are a couple of the founders here at Love Thy Nerd, and we're crazy excited and a little fumbly bumbly to be doing this right here, right now, live on Twitch. If you're following us there, lovethynerd.com. Nope. Just go to lovethynerd.com. That's probably a good thing to do anyway. We're at twitch.tv/lovethynerd. I need to just go ahead and make lovethynerd.com/Twitch a thing because that's what I want to say every single time.
I was going to put in a lovethynerd.com/YouTube, but it doesn't always
doing
work.
it wrong.
Is there a reason for that?
It just sometimes doesn't. Facebook gets mad. Facebook gets mad at all kinds of links.
Facebook.
Yeah, it was mostly... That's why I just put the long one in. I'm like, it's not
fine.
pretty, but I'm just going to,
I don't even want to talk about Facebook. No. Facebook is the bane of my existence. And Facebook, if you're listening, just fix it.
To Mark
why are you the way that you are, and why are you the way that you choose to be, and what gives you the right?
I hate everything you choose to be. No, hey, we do Facebook and we have to. So thank you for those of you that have come over from the Book of Faces and want to hang out with us here on Twitch. We want to give you more exciting interactive content. So that's what this is a part of. What's going to happen is, for those of you that are watching live on Twitch, we are going to interact with questions and all sorts of stuff that you are going to be putting in the chat. We'll do that during the final segment of the show this fine day. I almost said this evening.
This fine day.
I don't know.
Just call it a blessed day and leave it at that.
One fine day.
Well, I feel like I just feel a little off today. You all are making fun of me, but I just feel like not quite like
you said
normal
your stomach
Matt
hurts,
self.
so.
It doesn't feel wonderful.
You got upset tummy? A little rumbly tumbly?
A little bit. A little rumbly in my tumbly. And
I think it's all this talk about this Pokey Chip challenge. I think that's what's doing it for you.
Is that how you say it?
How do you say it?
Chip?
Pocky?
I just say
hot chip.
Hot chip.
Yeah.
The one chip challenge. I think we're going to do it. Hopefully for next week.
Whoa. Let's
Kate,
not.
We do it?
No, how is
you
that even?
You said that Aaron
didn't
find any, so how could it be on its way?
Oh, because I got an Amazon Echo in the mail from a mysterious stranger, and I just said, "Hey, what's the Amazon person's name?
Jeff.
Hey, Alexa, order me hot chips." And then she did it. And she knew what I meant.
She knew where to send it. She knew everything about that.
And who to send it to. I said, send it to beep.
I'll give it to Steven.
California.
Beep, California? Yeah.
And beep Shoals, Texas.
Well, you gave a lot more information about where I live. California.
No, there's lots of that stuff there.
Great. Now they know I live in Texas.
Oh, no.
Tejas.
Well, hey, we got a pretty good show, hopefully, in store for you guys today.
Fingers crossed.
We did a kind of a preview. We beta tested this yesterday, and it went so
Almost too well, because
I kind of wish you guys would have saved it for today. Like that was that one was that wasn't the real one, baby. But now this one is, and so like I was saying before, we're going to record today here live on Twitch.
Yep.
And then we'll actually release on LTN Radio, which you can get to by going to ltnonair.com or following at LTNOnAir on the socials. On Wednesday of next week, and then Thursday morning, that's when the actual podcast will go live. So we're almost a full week out, which might sound a little bit much to you guys, but to us, that sounds fantastic.
No, I was actually really hoping to record 4 times next week too, if that's cool with you all.
I think we're on pace to do that. So yeah.
Stop.
I wouldn't worry about it. So okay, a couple of things here. Kate, there's a string of bird murders happening.
Oh, yeah, I was just
happening in your area.
Okay, well, I texted you guys last night about the bird murders.
Mm-hmm. You did.
You did?
Mine was a period. Matt was a question mark. Yeah, I got okay.
Because I took my dog for a walk yesterday, and sometimes birds die and they're on the ground and stuff, and it's you don't really think about it, and so.
Oh,
but
okay.
Oh, you're looking.
No.
But over time, over the past 2 weeks, there have been a series of bird murders, and I say they're murders because something's not right.
Is there like a calling card that's being left?
No, but they all have died the same way. Not all ripped to shreds like you would think. Be like, oh, yeah.
Just how do
was
you
there
know
like a puzzle piece cut out of?
No,
did you do
I'm going to do that right after
them?
this. I'm literally going to go out there and look at the bird murders to see what's going on
I want to see you.
I want to see it live stream.
I want to
please, thank
see
you.
it.
Just
we can wait right here. That's fine. Go bring it in.
We see a lot of birds that get murdered by hawks and stuff. First, I thought it was these 2 hawks that live across the way in this eucalyptus tree, but I don't know.
You have eucalyptus trees
I
there?
really am
it's for
not.
the koalas.
I really am going to do an investigation because then I thought, well, okay, all these birds are dying and landing directly under like telephone wires. Mm-hmm. So did they all somehow get shocked all over a huge area, all within a 2-week span? And so it's like, why is that?
You've seen like those like mass bird deaths where it's like they just drop out of the sky? Do you think it's the same thing?
No.
You think it's the bird flu?
No, it's not the bird flu.
No, because that's not murdering, and there's no mystery to be solved.
Just something. There's a mystery. Something's going on, and I need to get to the bottom of it. And the thing is, nobody else is touching the birds.
Probably a good thing.
Well,
yeah.
No, I mean, like, there's not a lot of other animals ripping the birds up. So what's going on?
No, you're good. Well, because there's not a lot of meat on those birds.
But
You've not seen these birds.
Yeah,
They're
how do you
vultures,
know?
Matt.
No, although there are
they're like flying cows.
There are like they're not vultures, but what's the other type of like scavenging bird that's like a vulture, but it's not? There's
buzzard?
a bunch out here.
Isn't that just
Is it California condor?
California condor?
It's
there
not
it
a
is.
condor. It's not a condor. So
I thought buzzard was just another way to say vulture.
well, these aren't vultures, but they look like black chickens, but they're birds
I haven't played
of
enough Wingspan.
prey where they just like eat stuff.
Oh, black
chickens. No, they eat stuff, but that's the thing. They haven't touched these birds. So
okay. What do you think is happening? What's your conspiracy theory? Everybody put your tinfoil hats on. Think.
I mean, I guess if another bird's just ripping up birds for fun, which then it'd be a serial killer.
Yeah.
Or maybe the telephone wire, but then why now, and why haven't there been other bird murders like this before now? If it's the wire.
Do you think it's the water plant poisoning?
No, it's a little.
No,
pun intended. It's a little too close to home. Yeah.
It's too close to home.
Yeah. Why? These are the
Do you
questions
think that the telephone wire has become sentient?
Maybe. That's why I'm going to go and stand under it and ask a couple questions.
What is your quest? What is your favorite
I don't know, but
color?
if you saw all these birds like this, you would go look too.
No, I
what
would
do you
not.
mean?
How many?
There are 5.
How many?
And I saw a new one yesterday.
Oh, is 5 enough? Like in bird world, is 5 enough to go investigating?
For them all to be like this, all the same, all the crime scenes are the same. I haven't dusted for prints or looked for like footprints though, but
the talons.
I haven't measured any talon imprints, but
I'd just say cut them open,
All
see
right.
what's inside. I mean, You may as well.
I guess that would answer the question of whether if it was the telephone pole or not. The wires, I mean.
Yeah, it really would.
The Twitch chat is fire right now. Kate Katawaki, pet detective. Insert Law and Order sound.
Well, it's true. Maybe I'll go make like a little video or something about it if you don't mind seeing dead birds. But
no,
okay, that's the quality content
it's
that
just
I want
so
to dedicate
weird
my
that
life
all
to.
of these birds, all kinds of different types of birds, they're not like all crows. They're all different kinds. Are just it's too much. It's not. It can't be a coincidence.
I think it's poison.
It can't be. There's.
I'm not saying it's the water plant.
I
but
think it's
poison.
a serial killer.
Somebody's poisoned the water
Just
hole.
in time for Halloween. I think it's a serial killer. Birds.
I would watch this show and I would call it Kate Katawaki SBU, Special Birds Unit.
No.
What's up, birds?
SUB sub.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Just
That's.
What's it's like Subway sandwiches.
Oh, I thought you weren't going anywhere with that. Oh, you did. Thanks.
No, I knew. I know. I
Totally redeemed
there's
yourself.
There's always
there.
like a train like moving forward
So
here.
I don't know. That's just what I'm gonna do after this. I told you guys what I suspected last night. You didn't respond about the birds. You just talked about Halloween costumes. But trust me, something fishy is going on here.
I tried to talk about the thing I want to talk about, and you all said Merry Christmas. I was told not to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. Yesterday, someone sent me in the mail a Ring doorbell and an Amazon Echo Dot. Who was it?
Who sent it?
It wasn't me.
No, it came from Best Buy. This is a real mystery. It came from Best Buy.
Came from
it was
Amazon.
addressed
Yeah,
to me.
Yesterday you said it came from Amazon. So which is it?
Best Buy. It was Best
Are you
Buy,
sure?
okay? Amazon.
Matt,
it was an Amazon Echo Dot from Best
Buy.
Get out of here. How do you boot people from this thing? Like,
did you ask? We're just going to start here. Did you ask Aaron?
That was the first. Okay, I didn't want to lead the witness. I just said, "Hey, Aaron," on the phone here. Hey, Aaron, did you happen to order anything from Best Buy? And she said,
None.
What?
Yo
No.
Bizwax
Okay.
Incorporated.
Then I said, "Okay, where did these come from?"
Oh, and then like you started with a question, and then now you're like grilling her.
Well,
where did these come from?
Have you ever seen Commish?
Swear to
no,
me.
you remember the show Commish?
No.
The Commish from the 90s?
I was too young.
Yeah, you were alive yet.
I was watching Dinosaurs.
Marshall Falk, and he's like, just one more thing before I go. And then he would like really drive it home, like, where did they come from? And they just break. So I was hoping
You thought that
it would
would
be
work.
something like that.
That's ridiculous.
Marshall Falk
That's
is
so
the guy from The
ridiculous.
Princess Bride. Okay, he's the grandpa. And imagine him asking you questions about where the Amazon Echo Dot came from. You'd spill your life out.
He's the grandpa.
I
He
think
talks
either-
like this.
He's Commish.
Yeah. Columbo.
I don't know.
Yeah.
A dot and a Ring doorbell. That's not like an exciting gift.
No.
So whoever got this for you clearly
Well,
doesn't.
when you're an adult,
well, they
it is.
clearly don't know
Don't you already have a Ring doorbell?
No, they clearly don't know you. Otherwise,
I need one from
they
my
would
bedroom.
have.
On the
Yeah,
outside
who
of
buddy
it.
is it? Bing bong. It's always Penny. I don't know. You don't need the doorbell. It's me.
Oh, Columbo.
Yeah,
I'm
that's what I
stupid. It's
said.
Columbo, not
That's what I said,
Commish.
Columbo.
Columbo.
Still don't know.
When you put me on the
You
spot,
put
I don't
yourself-
know stuff.
You are telling the story.
Nobody asked you about the commish or Columbo.
Well, that's going to do it this week for the podcast. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
You're doing this to
Make sure you
yourself.
tip your
Matthew
waiter.
Warmbier.
Oh,
You're
man.
doing
Well,
this to
I
yourself.
told you I'm off today.
no, you were
told
on the
you.
clock. Don't you
Yeah,
dare.
Commish was the meaner one. Columbo
Well, those are
was
the two
Marshall
mysteries
Falk.
of the Free Play
There we-
podcast.
We tried.
Can we start over?
Murderers
Yeah,
have
hey,
a Ring
from the top.
doorbell.
I tell you what, we'll take another swing at it. We're going to take a quick
Marshall Falk.
Falk.
I can't get anything right today.
I think Marshall Falk. Yeah, he's an NFL running back. That's what I was thinking, and I was he was an NFL running back, but. You're doing terrible, by the way. Hey, you know what? In honor of Matt's terriblosity, we are going to take a short break. By Matt, he took his headphones off. Taking a break. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit about the games that we've been playing, and we want to hear from you in the time that we have. If you're watching us live on Twitch, tell us the games that you've been playing as well, and we'll talk a little bit about those too. So we're going to take a short break and come back with more of the Free Play podcast.
What is wrong
Just
with me?
just take this time to pull yourself together.
There's not enough time.
What up, nerd? We hope you're enjoying the podcast. But did you know that Love Thy Nerd showcases most of their content on LTN Radio first? That's right. Check the schedule and listen to most of our shows before they're available here over at ltnonair.com. And while you're streaming, you'll also hear the best mix of Christian rock, rap, pop, and indie, and even some content made exclusively for our radio listeners. Stream directly from ltnonair.com or download the Live 365 app and favorite LTN Radio. And let us become your new daily soundtrack. You'll be glad you did.
Well, hey there, and welcome back to the Free Play Podcast here on LTN Radio or live on Twitch at twitch.tv/lovethynerd or on the Live 365 app or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, really anywhere that you are listening. Google. Google. I think you have to go to thegoogle.com and it's the only thing that pops up. Wherever you're watching and or listening to this, hey, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you joining us. We're going to get back into this here, and we want to talk. We like to talk. I don't know that we want to. We like to talk about. We need to do this.
I like it so much. I like to do it 4 times a week.
Well, that's the joke that won't end, isn't it? Yeah. Still a little raw for me, but we want to talk about some of the games that we've been playing, and we've already taken some of the poll from our lovely Twitch chat over here, which if you do get there, these are subscriber only chitty chats. So if you want to get in there and be part of the conversation as it's happening, submit questions and all that stuff for us to look at the very end of the show, then you're going to have to come and be a sub and be here live with us on Twitch. So if you want to do that, like I said, twitch.tv/lovethynerd. Would love to have you over there. But let's kick things off. Kate, what have you been playing?
I've been continuing Telltale's Walking Dead. I just finished the 3rd season. And I played a little bit of the first episode of the 4th, but man, the 3rd season has probably some of the most unlikable characters I've ever met in video games. And when one of them turned into a zombie, I felt nothing inside my heart.
Oh, okay.
I felt nothing. Were they people from the comics?
I don't know. Or it's like the whole story of The Walking Dead, Telltale's Walking Dead, is supposed to be about Clementine, right? The girl. Well, this 3rd season, they introduced like a whole new family, and like Clementine's a character in their story. And I'm like, I don't care about these people.
Oh, rude.
I don't. I want to know what's happening with Clementine and like
the whole story is about Clementine. Don't worry about it.
No, but then why have these random people in here? And then the worst part though is that
because that's how stories work.
No. The worst part was that they tried to make me like them too much. And like feel sorry.
If you like these people, we're gonna give you in-game.
No. I just
it's a
Just know when a game tries to like force you to like them or be like, here's another reason why you should like this character or these people.
Yeah,
is because
Assassin's
of this.
Creed. I'm tracking.
No, has nothing to do with Assassin's Creed. They never do that ever.
Mass Effect. Yeah.
No. It was a struggle for me to get through the 3rd season because I'm like, I just don't care.
They're dead now.
No, not all of them
are
dead. But it was just like
you guys are like leaning into these spoilers.
No. I felt like they were trying to take advantage of me, the writers, because they put 2 kids in with this family. So it's like, if you don't like the adults, you should feel sorry because there's kids here.
Did it work?
Well, they made the kids really unlikable too.
I mean, but were they just like kids?
The family was like an uncle, a stepmom, and her stepkids.
Okay.
That was the family unit that was traveling. And so the 2 kids are like teenagers probably.
Okay, what's wrong with you?
We've only got so much time.
They are just so annoying. I was so glad to get out of season 3. I'm like, whatever, let's get through this.
So you didn't like season 3 at all of The Walking Dead?
There was some
Telltale?
parts that I was like, okay, but I just didn't like the people.
What? I'm asking just one question here. Why are you still playing?
Well, now I'm on season.
done.
Now I'm on season 4.
Because you have to. It's like watching the Two Towers. You have to in order to get to.
It's not. It's not that I don't like kids either, because there are some great kids in that series. It's just these two, and I felt like the writers were like, you have to feel sorry for this family and get invested in them because they have 2 teenagers with them, and it's like a hard world to live in, and just it was a no for me.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Kate, did you try
what?
Did you try to like them?
Or
did you just go in and were like, they're annoying, I'm out?
No, I really did.
I know they're not real, but I hate them.
I'm going to try, right? And one of the kids was way more annoying than the other. The other kid was like, okay. And of course, something bad happens to her.
Spoilers. Sorry.
Well, this game is not... I just saw something in the chat that's funny.
Okay.
These, what's unlikable about them? Their attitudes. They try to give me a hard time when I'm just trying to do what's best for this family.
Were they uggos?
They're ungrateful.
That's what the chat wants to know.
No, they weren't. They weren't ugly. They were just like they were irritating. They got themselves in trouble.
They weren't classically beautiful.
No, they got themselves in trouble after I said please don't.
I just want to I'm gonna say one more thing, and you can think whatever you want. These kids are living in terrible times where
it's not just the kids
can turn into
it's not
a
just
zombie
the kids that were annoying
and try to eat them.
Just the kids.
You don't think that's going to put a lot
that what Walking Dead is?
Unnecessary stress on them?
I think they were unlikable before
they're push all their boundaries. They have no control in their life.
I think they were unlikable before that.
No control. I think you overreacted.
I think you might be overacting a little bit.
Okay, look, it was not just the kids. It was not just the kids. There were at least 4 other annoying people too. Look at the chat. Tell me what it says right now.
I don't want to. I'm not.
Can confirm. Right season 3 kids suck. Those were not my words.
So, did you find yourself real talk? Did you find yourself trying to put them into situations where they would get got, or
no? Because at the end of the day,
real talk.
No, because at the end of the day, that's mean to just let a kid.
They can see your face. They can see the smirk of you trying to hide.
There's no smirk. I did not.
Don't squish your face and hide behind your mic.
No, I did not do anything. No. I did not do anything on purpose to hurt the kids. I just didn't appreciate that I went out of my way to help the kids, and they were not nice to me. They were ungrateful, they were mean, and they complained. And I'm like, come on. You
know how many close calls they've probably had in their life, Kate?
Some.
You can be super thankful probably the first 100 times. But when you get saved again, you're like, I'm still alive in this hellhole.
Okay, how about this? The stepmom was really annoying.
Okay.
That's not a kid.
She's missing her programs.
Roseanne got canceled. What do you want, man?
I'm just glad to be done with that season.
Roseanne,
I'm on season 4, right? So I just played a little bit of the next episode of the first episode of season 4, just to see okay, where are we going to end up for the first part of this episode? We end up at this school, this abandoned school, and it's a camp that's all run by kids.
See, this is your penance right here.
These kids are way better.
That's what you get.
You're going to go from annoying. Hey, how you doing? Okay, they can see you now, Kate. So just how are you doing with going from having these really annoying kids to now having the rough and tumble, taking no B from nobody?
I love it.
Kind of a kids.
I'm all for these kids.
Business.
You like it.
I love these kids.
All right. Well, you're about to get bossed around pretty heavy by 9-year-olds, so just
probably
buckle up.
Get used to it.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's a lot like parenting, if I'm being real. Yeah. Wipe my butt. You hear that all the time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
what?
Your kids have never screamed "wipe my butt" from the other room. You have your headphones on a lot. Yeah.
What?
What's that, Penny?
Oh my gosh. Well, that's basically just what I've been playing. I'm trying to get through this.
And you've played and beaten that since yesterday? That's crazy.
No, I started season 3.
It was Wednesday.
Where are we in the timeline?
Yeah, what? So Link
my days are all
died.
mixed up.
That's the one that we're in. This is the darkest timeline.
Well, I'm just going to play this. And then I'm going to play the new Assassin's Creed. I'm really excited.
That you say is only going to be $50, right?
Okay, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk
Sorry
about that
for
in this
bringing
next
it up.
thing. No, because it's
Jeez, I guess that's my one, huh,
no,
Matt?
because there's a lot of stuff to discuss about it. And it kind of falls into the topic. Today's topic, it kind of falls into it.
Marshall Falk. Hey, speaking of Marshall Falk, Matt, what have you been playing?
That's a really great question. So, again, this week on stream, my goal was to play Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
It was all ready to go. I was ready for it. I was, off just a few minutes late because I was getting Avon from youth. And, I feel like the world just doesn't want me to play this game.
Well, not with that attitude, for sure.
Yeah, that's...
I had zero attitude going to it. I had the attitude of excitement going into
Excitement-tude, yeah.
I was ready for it. Sit down, I chitty-chat a little bit with the people in the Twitch, go to turn the game on, don't really read what came up in the box. I'm just pressing buttons trying to get the thing to start. And it goes back out and I was like, what the heck what did that say? So I go back in. If only
I'd read it before.
And this time I read it for real. System maintenance from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. The exact time that we try to stream. Yeah. The exact time. So what are you going to do? Thankfully I had a couple games ready to go on the old Computron here. And I was like, I can play Forza 4, Forza 7, got Sunny D, purple stuff. What do you want here? And so I ended up playing Wizards of Legend, which I knew nothing about. And people would say, oh, that's a roguelike. And you're like, cool. I'm a roguelike too.
Don't look like I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it was all these gaming
professional
terms,
streamer. Yeah, roguelike. Me too,
well,
man.
I told you I didn't. I told you I wasn't 100% sure what that was either. So.
I figured it out because that game. First, you have people in the chat telling you to press the wrong buttons. You shut the entire game down. You're like,
that was so good.
Control F4.
Here's the thing. Let's pause here for a second because Matt is so green at Computron that he doesn't know any of the buttons. And he's trying to get out of the window that he has to get over to OBS. And you need to push Alt-Tab to move to a different program.
I know that.
Everybody in the chat is trolling him heavy. And inevitably, the Alt F4 came in. And Matt's like, oh, okay, I'm going to try Alt F4. Burnt. And then he didn't realize it at first until he tried to bring it back up. He's like, wait, what's going on? And he clicks on it to open it up and it starts at the load screen. And he almost threw his computer out the window. It was the best. So Matt's easy to troll.
Oh, man.
They didn't give me the sarcastic slash, the little... I didn't know sarcasm. I don't know.
Well,
who was it I feel like it was MDB or somebody that said that.
No, it was Jinho. I trusted him. He's
Even
never done that.
Better.
If you said it...
Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
I might believe you. If you... I would maybe more believe you. If MDB said it, I'd be like, oh, no.
Jinho's a sleeper agent, man.
It's debatable. And he just he's like, hey, wide open door here. Come on in, Matt. Nothing wrong through this door. Boom. So I ended up, had some technical issues and ended up playing that game. Honestly, I think he felt bad for me because that game, I don't feel like it's very well laid out what I'm supposed to do.
No, it's
maybe because you don't know about roguelite, and that's why.
Those games don't hold your hand at all.
No, it didn't. I was like, I've got these spells. I'm going to hit people. I just want to punch them, right? Just punch them.
Yeah, that's what wizards do. Wizards are punchers. Yeah.
So I ended up making it to the second level. I went through 1-1 so many times. I finally made it to 1-2.
Which is how a roguelike works. You're going to go through the same level a lot.
It's getting there. And it was pretty fun. Actually, I was playing right before we started here.
Jeez.
And...
I did see that you were playing it on Discord. I saw that.
We do have a death counter going.
Well, I played.
So I don't know what I'll play around with what the
it's like wizard dead or something like that. Wiz dead. But I also, besides that, I did play War Chest again, and that game is just so fun. I love it every time I play. And yep, there's.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Also played a little bit more of Red Dead.
Yes.
2. Red Dead.
That makes me so
again,
happy.
Just hopping back in. And just kind of wandered around. You know, I got some food for the camp. Did some chores. I didn't actually do any chores. I just paid them. Like, you guys need money? Here you go. You need food? Here you go. Let me get into the book and give you guys some more medicine, some more ammo, so you're all happy. And we'll back out into the wild.
Said you mentioned something before we started rolling that you got coughed on in the game.
Bubba, I told you it's a very sensitive subject.
Yeah, I did. I'm not. I don't want to like. I can't say anything more than that, because if you haven't played the game, then you won't know what that means. And if I talk more about it,
I have not played the game, and I can make assumptions as to what that might mean.
No, okay, we'll tell you after.
What I think it might mean is that you're not going to be playing that character for very much longer. That's what I think it might be.
Oh my gosh.
We're in the middle of COVID-19. Like, people understand when you get coughed on, it's not a good thing.
No, I said I got
coffeed. Oh, okay.
Someone dumped their
now
coffee on me.
Well, you're going to be good to go.
Yeah, I smell like sweet Maxwell House.
Maxwell House? That's where you went, really?
That's probably what they used back then.
Folgers original? Yeah, those whatever. Yeah. Dirt?
Yep.
Mud water? That's about all I've been playing. Bubba, what about you?
I'm figuring out this. It's How Wiz Dead. This is how many times Matt has died. Only 5? That doesn't seem right. No, I didn't feel right. I hate it. We'll have to bump those numbers. I've been playing Destiny 2. Like a lot of it. Bippy, yeah. I only streamed for 5 hours last night.
I can't believe that.
Playing that game. Kate, I don't want to hear it. You're sitting here telling me all these games that you've beaten.
How many beef sticks and corn dogs did you eat in that time?
0 beef sticks. And I actually have a corn dog that's like...
And how many of those have you eaten since we've been sitting here? How many corn dogs?
0. I haven't eaten... Since we've been sitting here, I ate 3 corn dogs.
You ate 3 in the course of less than 3
minutes.
And
I need to finish that last one over there. And it's got
Go ahead. Yeah, well, I'll talk for you. So it's me, Bubba. I've been playing Destiny for the last 5.5 hours with Rocket Mr. Magic.
Absolutely.
There,
so here's the deal. This is why I know that he's not going to be starting Detroit Become Human, because Matt Williams, Rocket Mr. Magic, he is on our book club podcast, writes for us, does other podcasts himself, part of Geek Nation, all that stuff. He plays Destiny on 2 different consoles. He plays it on PlayStation and Xbox, and now you can cross save. So like, you don't have to start a whole brand new character.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can just pull everything over. And so that's what he's been doing.
Interesting.
And so we'll see him log on onto Xbox, but he didn't have Shadowkeep. And so like, that's the newest expansion, and he didn't have that. And we were like, hey man, we're going to do this thing. He's like, oh, I'll take you through and all that stuff, but you need Shadowkeep to run this mission. So we were like, all right, well, how much is it? We'll just buy it for you. Like, what do we need to do to get you in to play this game with us right now? And turns out everything obviously is all on Game Pass, and you can get Game Pass for $1 for 1 month. And so
wow.
He just went ahead and logged on to ye old Game Pass there, and then hopped in, and the next like 3 hours were just him, Frost, and myself just like running into the hellmouth of the moon.
I think they call it grinding. That's
what I heard. It's called.
Right?
We weren't grinding. We were like, yeah, because like grinding is like I'm gonna stay in this area, and I'm gonna like farm these materials. This was like we were on a specific quest chain. We were more farming than grinding, and so yeah,
I guess I'll give you that one. But I could see
yeah, but it wasn't like waiting, hopefully this thing would drop. It's like, hey, if you did all these things in this order, then you would get this exotic.
Okay.
And it was, I would stop this podcast and play Destiny 2 right now.
Come on.
I really love that game. That's my Red Dead. I would stop and play it at any moment, just pick it up, go do something. I love playing the end game content. And what we did last night felt like a raid. It felt like endgame content. We had to solve a puzzle. We had to work together as a team. We had to do these things. Jigsaw like the murders.
Like Marshall Falk.
Marshall Falk is the murderer.
Oh my god!
I knew it the whole time. Of course, it was an inside job because he's the commish. Yeah.
Yes.
But I haven't really been playing a whole lot outside of Destiny because I feel like anytime I pick up the controller or I actually do play a game, that's what I want to play is Destiny 2.
I'm really happy for all y'all. I just have zero desire to play the game.
That's because, Matt, you and I are Red Dead 2 people. Bless up.
Bless up. Yeah.
It's different. And Bubba, I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, I'm glad you have
Look, I don't need your condescending tones over there, okay?
We're happy for you.
So
hey, sweetie, we're really happy.
It's just,
honey boo boo.
You do you. You keep doing you.
You're doing
No,
good.
because playing that game allows me to play with other people. And you guys know me, I'm a communal gamer by heart. Like I say that all the time. So as much as like playing a single player game is great and I like doing that, I would much rather play through something with other people. And so I don't know, like even Matt, what are we laughing at here?
Just a quote I guess I said one time.
I don't like games, okay?
I don't like games, okay? Leave me be.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Rachel Library Night, she's been like collecting all the quotes that we're saying on stream, and
she even has a Kate quote from yesterday.
Dang, was that only yesterday?
I know. There'll be a lot more quotes where that came from.
Well, let's turn our attention to the chat for just a little bit. So we have a lot of people that are playing Hades right now, which is
Are you sure that's how you pronounce it?
Hades, yeah.
Hades. Yeah, he said it. He said it. Okay, it's a.
Oh, okay. I haven't gotten there in Duolingo yet. That's why.
Yeah. Same. And so I mean, like that's a roguelike. Matt, you're starting to get into these. They're starting to become your favorite kind of game.
Oh, that's a
roguelike for sure.
I know what that means. Wait, is it rogue? I'm just gonna. Can everyone like stop listening for a second? Is it rogue-like or rogue-light?
I don't know. I've seen some people say
professional
it both
streamer
ways.
over here, buddy.
Yeah, well, one of them is wrong.
Okay, you guys can come back in.
Matt, didn't you play Moonlighter?
Is that the Michael Jackson game?
This is my life.
Walker.
This is my life.
No, I never played that game.
Oh, I thought that you did. Like Moonlighter is one of the coolest roguelikes that I played. You play as a shop owner who goes into the dungeons at night, clears things, and then like brings the stuff back to the shop to then sell to the townsfolk. And you are responsible basically for increasing the economy of your little town.
I remember that game. You recommended it to me, and then
legit.
I didn't do anything about it.
Enter the Gungeon is also a roguelike twin stick shooter. But yeah, Hades is the big one right now. That's the one all the kids are talking about. So, what else? What else? People are playing World of Warcraft still.
Wow.
Which no shade. I mean, they're coming out with they just released a brand new expansion, Shadowlands, right? I think it was Shadowlands.
I have no idea.
Shadowlands? I thought that's what you said Destiny was called.
Shadowkeep.
Oh.
Shadows Keep?
Okay. Matt, you were just so good at your job.
You kids and you...
Yeah.
There's too many words, okay?
Hey there, fellow kids. Yeah.
Kids,
me, Matt Warbeer.
Systems. Back in my day, we had two
It got
buttons.
delayed? What? Again?
Got delayed.
I'm sorry, guys.
Except, I'm not playing
Yeah,
that game.
Genshin Impact. Everybody's playing Genshin Impact except for Matt.
What's Graveyard Keeper? I don't know
that's like a think Stardew Valley-ish, but you are the keeper of a cemetery, and you have to like make sure the people get
like
buried and all this.
Dampy, yes.
All this stuff.
Dampy.
Okay.
Well, hey, you might have to go check that one out, Kate. You might have to beat Graveyard Keeper.
No, it's too grindy. I don't think it even has an end.
No, it's not. It's not. They don't call it grinding. They call it farming.
Yeah, you got to grow the ghosts.
No, it's grindy.
I don't know. Like, this is like honesty hour with Matt. I don't know what games I like anymore.
Red Dead 2, you just said.
You don't like games. Leave me be. Yeah, we got it.
No, I like games. Just don't know I want to play.
This sounds like an existential crisis here. You're like internally conflicted.
No, it's me and Matt. This happens to us every time we finish something. We played Red Dead 2 and move hay and grain sacks and then think, okay, what are we going to do next? I have no idea. Oh.
I just finished Ghost. I mean, I did all of it. Felt great. Loved it. And it's, kind of
well, you're getting the new Assassin's Creed with your what?
No, I'm not. The code didn't work.
What do you mean?
Did Chad use it already?
I don't know. Didn't work.
But it's not out yet. So how could you get anything by putting a code in?
It said it already been used.
That's
fine. Well, you wouldn't like it anyway, so
I don't know. I mean, the PlayStation 5's coming, and
allegedly,
I need to get excited about that. Well, I hope it is. I don't know. Spider-Man's coming. I'm sure I'll love that game. I'll love Spider-Man. It'll be a short one,
like 15.
But I'm wondering, like, what else
maybe?
I should. Yeah,
you should play season 3 of Telltale's Walking Dead and tell me what you would do with
just jump straight into season 3. Don't play anything else.
I wouldn't play it. That's probably what I would do.
Well, hey, let us know. Let us know on socials at Free Play Podcast on Twitter what you're playing. Thank you for those of you that told us here in the Twitch chat what you're playing and chatted it up with us and let us know. That's what we want to get going. So make sure that you are here every Friday at probably 3 p.m. Eastern. We're just going to go ahead and kind of lock that in. Why not? Be there on Twitch, twitch.tv/lovethynerd, and be a subby, and we'd love to hear from you. But we're going to take another short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about kind of what's our main topics for this show here. Are the console wars still a thing? And also, we're going to talk about some of the most overrated games right here on the Free Play Podcast.
We here at LTN Radio know that not everybody is nerdy in the same ways, and you might find yourself in a situation where you hear a word or a phrase that you've never seen before and have no idea what it means. Well, have no fear. I'm here to help. Today's term is troll. A troll is someone who deliberately harasses, antagonizes, or criticizes people online, especially with provocatively disparaging or mocking public statements, posting, or acts. Honestly, it's just someone out there trying to make you the butt of a joke, and I have to apologize. That's been me for the last 3 weeks. Apparently, I haven't made it clear enough that these definitions have been bad, nerdy definitions, so let me just clear everything up from the beginning. AFK does not mean always freaking king go celebrate. It means away from keyboard. So if you got to step away from the keyboard when you're playing a co-op game, you put AFK. Or if you see someone just standing there not moving, it's likely that they are AFK. Sus in Among Us or anywhere else means suspicious or suspect. They're the person that you need to look out for, that there is some reason to suspect that they are the imposter or the bad guy or what have you. And a sonic screwdriver is really just a kind of futuristic screwdriver that the Doctor has on Doctor Who. It's helpful. It accomplishes a lot of good, but it doesn't work on wood. He does use it every episode, though. Moving forward, I'm going to do my best to be more transparently truthful with nerdy definitions. You can trust me, even though I might have posted this just to lure you into a false sense of security, which is something a troll would do. But I'm not doing that. Of course, a troll would also say that, but I'm not being one now. Trust me. This has been Nerdy Definitions, super trustworthy, completely factual nerdy definitions.
All right, we are back here on the Free Play Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're listening live on Twitch, twitch.tv/lovethynerd, or you're listening on LTN Radio, ltnonair.com, or at LTN on all socials, or the Live 365 app, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Twinder, MySpace, your space, our space, all the spaces, wherever it is, in space. I don't know, who are
we to say?
Well, just the hosts, no big deal. But Wherever you are listening, thank you so much for doing so. And so we're going to get into our kind of mainish topics here, and that is, first one's this. Are console wars still a thing? Go.
Here's how I know they are.
Well, spoiler alert, okay.
Yeah, well,
that's going to do it for the Free Play Podcast.
As you know, I wanted a new pair of headphones. As you know, I bought a pair on Prime Day, and then I didn't like them. So I bought a better pair to replace them. I was excited for those headphones to come. They arrived. I put it on my head. It felt like it was a match made for my head. I said, oh, look at the cable. The cable's awesome. I followed it down to the end, and it was a USB.
Okay. I ask you again.
That's why
there's console wars.
That's why I'm saying is console wars are still a thing, because who uses USB headphones?
Somebody does. I don't know.
I had to straight up. I put it on my head. I saw that. I said,
Sega
"Oh no,
players?
Steven, look at this."
Where are you going with this?
I said, "Look at this. This is a USB. I can't use it." And he's like, "Well, we have to take it back." So I had to take the headphones back right away, and I was really sad for a couple days. That's why when you guys texted me yesterday and said, "Get up, we're gonna try to do a preview," I was laying there sad about the headphones.
I sent you all my best gifts. Or jive.
Yeah,
I did get up, but I was just, and I understand that PC does, but it's like nowhere did it say, "Hey, this is a USB headphone set."
Kate, I understand that you really wanted to tell this story, but how does that pertain to console wars?
Because it was assumed that I would know that these were USB PC headphones, meaning that there are other things, other headphones that are not for these, that are for other purposes, meaning that it...
You're doing great over there. Yeah, that hole's getting so deep.
That these headphones...
Just don't let her finish.
I just couldn't believe it, and I said to myself, the console wars exist because this is a PC preferential
and that's
treatment
when I knew.
Here. And I'm devastated. No, I did not. No tears exited my eyes, but one almost did.
I just have to believe that you're practicing your filibustering right now, because I still don't know what that has to do with console wars.
Because I bought the wrong head.
That's
it's
PC.
Still that all those three together are all warring against each other. That's why there was this.
And you think that you were a casualty because you bought the wrong headset?
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
There was not even any sort of jack to help fix it. That was the only option.
There's probably an adapter. Dongle. There's a dongle for that.
So,
man.
whatever. I just, that's...
You want me to answer now?
I don't know that anybody can... I think that's the definitive answer. Because Kate's headphones...
All right, moving on, I guess.
No.
Well, this is how I know, yeah.
Aside from that, Matt.
I will say, besides from what Kate said, I guess I'll try to find my own opinion here. I think that they are, but I also think that for the most part, people have already made up their minds. It's a lot like voting. Like, there's not much that's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to change everything. Because for me, like, I grew up a PlayStation. I had Nintendo. I still do Nintendo. I'll get the Nintendos. But I also was a PlayStation bro. Like, those are the two I always got. And I'm still getting them. I have gotten Xboxes. I've had whatever ones those were. Xbox fill in the blank. Not the first one.
SSX Tricky.
Yeah, SX Tricky. And I just I'm like, they're fine. But I always feel like I'm pressing the wrong button. I can never remember where the buttons are. Like, oh, press B. And I'm like, B? It's like when we press the small black button or the small white button. Where are those ones at?
Those haven't been there since the original Xbox.
Well, I miss them, though. I'm just saying I miss them. And if they kept those ones, I might come back. But, I will play those. I will play them. And I feel fine. Like, even people comparing graphics and exclusives and PC Master Race, all those, to me, it's all just preferential.
Yeah.
I don't need top of the line graphics. I don't need exclusives necessarily.
I think you do.
Your best in.
I think you do.
I probably need that.
Yeah.
That's probably more of what I need. But not everything I play is exclusive. I don't need your quote unquote best controller ever, because to me it doesn't feel right in my hands.
Which one are you talking about specifically?
Like, I'm talking about the Xbox controller, like this one. I don't think it feels right. It's too wide in the bottom.
Too wide? Well, you did get a third-party Xbox controller, if we're being real.
No, this is a real one.
Are you
baby?
sure?
Yeah, this is a real. It has the X right there. Yeah.
Are you sure? Anyone could put that on.
Did
there.
it say?
Positive.
Show me the box. Yeah. So while Matt's doing that,
It is an Xbox controller.
and I'm just supposed to take your word for it. I don't
I'll
think so,
take your
Scooter.
word for it. I'll take your word.
Thanks, Kate.
I would say that I think that there are still console wars. I think that we're getting closer and closer to the end of said console wars. And I think things like Microsoft purchasing ZeniMax is one of those things. And Microsoft, I'm going to talk from Microsoft's perspective, gobbling up a bunch of game studios and stuff like that. Because really one of the things that people play on XYZ console for are the exclusives. I don't think it's graphics. I don't think it's power. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it all comes down to exclusives. What can I get on this system that I cannot get on that system? And we talked about this a while ago. I don't even remember how many episodes ago, many episodes ago.
A handful or 2 or 3.
Like when we were kids, you only got 1 or 2 maybe. And that's what it was. You were the N64 bro, and it was ride or die for N64 or PlayStation or Xbox or GameCube at that time. Like that was it. Like there were no others. And the marketing of everything was, this 1v1 me bro kind of, Sega is trying to be the edgy, and, Sony's trying to reach this market, and, Microsoft's family friendly, and Nintendo is living on an island doing whatever the heck they want to do. But I think that exclusives are always going to be a thing, if for no other reason than Nintendo. I can see a time when Sony and Microsoft figure it out. I can see that. I have a harder time seeing Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, on another console, on an Xbox or a PlayStation or something like that, because it's so tightly wound into the Nintendo property. It's not just an IP that they have. Zelda and Mario, those two franchises, are just as much Nintendo as the name Nintendo is Nintendo. So I think that something to the scale of like what happened with Sega would have to happen, to be able to see, Mario on another console or whatever. Now we see Sonic everywhere. They kind of backed off of
Happy Birthday. Sonic.
Now they license it all out, right? And you see all these games and all these different IPs, in Smash Bros. Or over here, on you can get it on, an Xbox or whatever. Like it's not locked to one thing. They're just like, hey, this was the thing that really worked for us, was the IPs. We'll just license them out. But again, that's like they're still drawing money off of their exclusive characters, like that they're just harnessing it through licensing rather than locking it to a console. Yeah. So I think that console wars are they may kind of shift from being a console war to an IP kind of branding war. And we've seen this with Destiny. And you guys heard of Destiny? This is a really great space magic game.
What, one or two?
And Destiny 3, put them together.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so like we saw where like Destiny was this, it's Bungie, and Bungie made Halo. And that was a Microsoft company, and they split from Microsoft, Bungie did, to go and do their own thing. And then they started partnering with a lot of other people. They started making Destiny, like for real, back in about 2011. And so like they're starting to do all this stuff, and this formerly Microsoft exclusive company now with Destiny 1 goes over and they have like timed exclusives for a year on PlayStation. Like there were things that PlayStation, owners had with Destiny that Microsoft Xbox owners did not get to play with. at all. I mean, we're talking like missions, strikes, weapons, all sorts of stuff that was locked to PlayStation for a year. So by the time it got to Microsoft, or maybe it was a little bit longer than that, by the time it finally got to Microsoft, it was like, it was old hat, you know, like most of those people had purchased a PlayStation and, you know, for that stuff. Like exclusives are console sellers. That's where the war of the console comes.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Now you have Bungie back with Microsoft, and now Beyond Light, which is the new Destiny 2 expansion, is a launch title for the new Xbox on November 10th. So it's like, I think it all comes down to the IPs. I don't think it really matters what the console that it's on is at all. So, okay. Yeah. So what I'm really trying to say is the headset jack is that's the linchpin that holds it all together. If it really ain't USB, then it ain't USB.
Avon has one USB, that's both. It's USB or it's the audio jack.
So why was that not like included? It's gotta be ready for anything. Is my question. But I think you're right. I think you're right, Bubba, in that it is about the exclusives. Like for me, I like PlayStation. I don't have any ill will towards Xbox or anything like that. Fine. The games that I like are on PlayStation, and I grew up with a PlayStation and stuff. And if, you know, you want to make USB headphones, then I guess go right ahead and do it. Just make it a little more clear when, you know, people are trying to buy headphones that it's USB.
Right. And I don't want to switch over to Xbox and lose all my trophy status. Like I've been working on my trophies on PlayStation for
love those trophies.
Okay? Yeah, I mean, I get trophies. They've actually changed the trophy system. We can talk about that another time, but it kind of made me angry.
Matt loves his trophies. Like he wants to platinum things. That's.
We'll just need to do more. I've platinum 3
and you won't shut up about it. Yeah, I know.
Well, how many of you
0
do you have? Kate, how about you?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You told me how to do it. That's how I have it.
I will say this though, that we were talking a little bit earlier about like wars are built on concepts. Like just wars in general are built on concepts. Do you or do you not agree with me in this one thing? And there are still some hardcore, fanboys for PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo only. Like period. Things cannot come out on other consoles. They can't. Or like if a game is an absolute banger and it comes out on another console, they're like, Microsoft sucks. And it's like, what? Like, no, Halo's a good game, and it's important that you know that Halo is a good game. Or it's.
I better change my overrated
answer. But it's like these games that are exclusives. Like some people will talk down about them, like big time. Like, Breath of the Wild is really not as good as everybody says it was. No, it is as good as everybody says that it was.
Or people are like, God of War sucks.
That's just it's just not true. Like those are not true statements. Those are fanboy statements. And I think that like these wars, the console wars, PC Master Race, all this stuff, they're fueled by people who can't think clearly. They can't see outside of their tunnel vision of I'm ride or die on my system. And I'm the opposite of that. Honestly, I'm like, I just want to catch them all. I want every single console so I can play all the games. We were talking about this the other day. I don't remember where it was, maybe inside of LTN community on Facebook, but it was, I think somebody posted in there, hey, new consoles are coming out, like which ones are you guys getting? And almost across the board, it was this kind of understanding that it's like, hey, I go to PlayStation for my like single player exclusives that I can't get anywhere else. These like deep narrative rich stories. Not to say that's not on Xbox, but like exclusive wise, a lot more of them come out on PlayStation. And for multiplayer, we go to Xbox. Now again, that's not a 1-to-1. It's not like there is no multiplayer on PlayStation. Right. But from what I've seen and what I've experienced myself is that the multiplayer experience is better on Xbox, and I don't know why. I'm not willing to get wounded or even, die on that hill or anything like that. But it's like, I feel like the multiplayer experience is an Xbox thing because it like focuses on community. Whereas PlayStation, you just see a lot more of their stuff being like deep narrative driven story stuff, which again, I'm not mad at that. And then Nintendo's like, well, what if we had another app completely separate from everything else where you could chat, but we only let you chat with 2 games? And they're like,
you know what, just hit over Discord. It's better for you. Yeah.
Jeez. But I don't know. Like, it looks like the chat is kind of a little bit with us on this one. That it's not really about one or the other. And that, I think a lot of times the war is forced. I really think that it is.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I'll play whatever, but I'll go with what I know. I'll go with my gut as far as like what I'm used to. And I'm used to PlayStation. I'm used to Nintendo. That's what I do.
Yeah. Coming to a close. Okay, so piggybacking on this, what are some of the most overrated games?
In our opinion.
Definitively, in our definitive opinion. Matt, you start.
Okay. For me, and I probably people will not love this, the Pokemon games. I'm sorry. They're overrated to me. They're just
because of the repetitiveness, or
just the same. Yeah, it's just the same. Honestly, you probably say the same thing about sports games too, but like they just like it does not draw me in, and I think they hit the market at the right time long ago, and they just kind of kept that rolling. I did say Call of Duty as well, but I know like they've done some things to change it up a little bit. Like they're really trying to make those games more different, but to me, like they're not it. Madden, I think Madden's kind of overrated. Personally, I haven't played one in a couple of years, but like
I feel like it's adequately rated.
Well, I feel like it's almost in the same boat as like I always get PlayStation, and PlayStation's way better, and they're the best. And then it's like I just always get mad because it's the best. Like it's just kind of like for me, like that almost feels like the same thought process there. I was huge in NCAA football. Like that was the game I played. I didn't. Yeah, like Madden was not the one I loved. But rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
I'm sorry. I know. People love Madden. I just like. I just get bored. When I play it. But like,
sorry, Terry. Yeah.
What about you? What about you all?
Well, I know off the top of my head, Undertale.
Really?
I think Undertale's way overrated.
Wow.
It's just like kind of quirky and weird, and like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Kate, you'd like it." I watched a playthrough of it once. This was a while ago, and I'm like, too weird for me. It's a little too weird for me.
Have you played it?
Not after I saw the playthrough, because I'm like, how would I have ever figured that out? I would not have, because it makes zero sense.
Yeah,
because that's the point of the game, which some people love that stuff, but I'm like, okay, what are we going to do so we can get it done so we can do the next thing? And that's not really how that game is. It's like, I don't know.
I don't know much about Undertale. I just know I really like the Game Chops music.
The Game Chops music is good. I just don't like. I know some people say that if you're watching it is different than playing it, which is like fine. But I was watching it to see if I would like it, and there's no way that I would have ever guessed some of that stuff in there. It would have just irritated. Trust me, I know what irritates me in games, and when I get lost and disengaged. And I just don't think it would have been a good match for me. Not to say that it's not, a great game for other people. It just seemed overrated for me.
I think you need to play it. I think that like that needs to be a criteria just for everybody. This is not just you, Kate, or us, or anybody listening. Like everybody in the world, before you say something is overrated, I think you need to experience it. I think you need to know why it's. Where its shortcomings are, because we know this, Catherine Katawakai. We know this that playing a game is different than watching a game. It is not games are not a passive medium; they're an interactive medium.
But when you're trying to watch something to get a vibe of if you want to buy it, it's like I didn't get a vibe where I wanted to buy it. Is all.
That's fine. I'll give you that. But now your homework is to go beat Undertale.
No, I have other games
At least listen to the Sprightly song.
Boy Sprightly.
No, it has a great soundtrack. It didn't draw me in like it drew other people in looking at it, or other people even who hadn't played it who were like, oh yeah, I want to play that game, it looks awesome, like that kind of thing. Yeah,
Smash Bros. Done.
One, two,
Bubba,
three.
you have 1 minute to tell us yours.
Really?
Yo, really? Yes. Oh yeah, I think Smash Bros is the probably one of the most overrated games that I've ever played or heard about or anything. More than Fortnite for me, honestly.
Interesting.
I think Fortnite's a pretty overrated game, but I kind of like what it does. It allows a lot of people to play, and Smash Bros. Kind of scratches that itch too. But I legit like that game. Smash Bros. Brings out the most toxic environments that I've seen in almost any game from any age of player ever. I have we're talking I've grounded my kids from the Switch because of how they play Smash Bros. All right. So that's one thing. We go to Fall Retreat, right? This is like a Christian youth group event. And I've got a kid who's yelling at me because I'm telling him he needs to calm down and take a break from that game. And so
who is his main?
Who's his main? The angry emoji. That's his main, just like in real life. And then also I've watched, these are some of my favorite videos to watch. You watch on YouTube of people losing their minds playing Smash Bros. So for me, I just think that because of the toxic environment that it creates, that it is overhyped. When you're sitting there trying to play the game and people are like, hey, here are all of the rules. We're only going to play this way. No items, flat stages only, can't do this, can't do that,
Slappers only, yeah. Slappers only.
2-hand touch below the belt,
only,
yeah.
Please.
And so that to me, it sucks the fun out of it. And so to me, I think that the way that it's being played, it overhypes it. To me, completely overrated.
I have a real problem going into tournaments, Smash Bros. Tournaments. I haven't been in a lot, but going into it and I just troll them because I'm gonna be Toon Link, and they're like, Toon Link,
dude.
I'm yeah, I just Toon Link.
One of the kids picked Toon Link at Fall Retreat, and I thought this other kid was going to nail him to the wall.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, is he a character in the game or is he not a character in the game?
Yeah. I'm just gonna shoot arrows at you.
Jeez.
From over here.
Well, so the same kid that said that, he picked King K. Rool 90 matches in a row, and I'm like, who's trolling who? What's happening here? But anyway, the chat was asking who's my main. When I do play Smash, which is not very often,
it would be Waluigi.
Get out of here. He's my sprite. That's who he is.
Oh my gosh.
My main is Banjo. But let me be honest, I don't play very often. 2 reasons. One reason, I don't really like the game. Second reason, my kids lost the game chip. So
do you think they ate it?
You would know if they ate that chip.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, we wouldn't know. You would know.
Everybody would know if my kids ate that chip. Yeah, that's the one chip challenge for my kids right there.
Oh man.
Well, hey, let us know what some of yours are. Hit us up on Twitter at Free Play Podcast. What are some of the most overhyped games for you? We're legitimately interested. We want to keep these conversations going. Let us know in the Twitch chat, and we'll kind of revisit that here in just a second when we come back from a short break. We're going to close the show out. We're going to tell you what's happening next week here live on Twitch and also on the podcast, or if you're listening to us on LTN Radio. We're going to tell you what to expect, but I'm going to give you a little spoiler. You're going to want to join us on Twitch for next week's podcast for sure and for certain. So we're going to take a short break and come back with more of the Free Play Podcast.
Hey everyone, I'm Hector Mirai, and this is Faith and Fandom 180 on LTN Radio. Nobody likes being the target of an attack. Nobody likes being called out for what they have done, and people also really don't like being called out for what they haven't done. But it's part of our sinful human nature is that we attack other people even when we're guilty ourselves, because one of the easiest ways to build ourselves up is by tearing other people down. And that's ugly, but it's how the world works. I mean, if the political season we're in right now is a shining example of that. Well, a little while ago, Chris Pratt found himself as the verbal target of many people's attack and assault on his character, his previous marriage, his church, and different things. And the world was very vocal about it. And one of the things that I found most encouraging in that time and season is that Robert Downey Jr. used his voice to speak up. And on Robert Downey Jr.'s Instagram, he said, "What a world. The sinless are casting stones at my brother Chris Pratt, a real Christian." Now the quote goes on further, but what stood out to me is that Robert Downey Jr. chose to use his voice to speak up for Chris when he was being attacked. But the opening statement of who he said he was that he was a real Christian. You know, Robert Downey Jr., if you're as old as I am, you remember times and seasons when he was in trouble and he was under attack and for things that he actually did and were guilty of. But that's the thing. We have to be able to live our lives that we can rise above the attacks. 1 Peter 3:16 says this, "Keeping a clear conscience, so that those who speak maliciously against your good behavior in Christ may be ashamed of their slander." We're always going to be the subject of attack, no matter what we do. The only true defense against those types of attack are to actually live your life in a way that people clearly see the Jesus in you, your words and your actions and your attitude. Remember to catch Faith and Fandom 180 every Wednesday morning on the Back Row Radio Morning Show, only on LTN Radio. And if you'd like to learn more about what Faith and Fandom does, head over to facebook.com/faithandfandom, where you can learn more about our podcasts, Comic-Con ministry, memes, and our book series that has 7 volumes out with more on the way. I'm Hector Mirai, and thank you for spending the last 180 seconds with me.
Well, to close out the show today here for Free Play Podcast, episode 106, what we want to do is we want to tell you about episode 107.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be an episode 107?
Fingers crossed, hopefully.
Good Lord willing,
Maybe.
and the creek don't rise.
Yep, just as my Gammy would say.
Is that what your Gammy would say? I don't
Yeah,
think so.
she literally says that.
No.
Yes, she does.
Why? Why does your Gammy talk like that?
For sure she does.
She just does. If I called her right now.
It's that's
Get her on the horn.
Saying. People say that.
Yeah, she's...
It's a Red Dead saying.
So anyway, next week, what we're going to be doing, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/lovethynerd. That's going to be October the 30th. That's Halloween Eve. Spooky. Right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 7 days from today is the 30th.
We'll call that Devil's Night.
No, it's the Devil's birthday's Eve. Yeah. And so,
okay. Sorry.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to dress up. We're going to have our Halloween costume, and if you don't do Halloween, it's candy and cosplay. Just lean into that. And so we're going to be doing that, and I'm going to try and get some giveaway stuff ready for you guys as well. We'll have a couple of those going on.
It'll be
this is a new surprise to me. Wow, Bubba, you're going to give prizes for everyone?
Did you see Kyle Matthews post that abomination candy corn pizza? Corn pizza?
See, he took my idea of getting a cheese pizza frozen,
adding your own toppings,
but he took it too far.
Yeah, it's almost like, hey, do you remember like how good pizza used to be? I can fix that. Yeah.
I can ruin it.
And I like candy corn. I legitimately like candy corn.
Fine.
Yeah,
bobbing
I think it's
for
fine.
beef sticks. Yes, I'm here for that. But we're going to be doing a little bit of cosplaying candy. Halloween Eve, dress them up, as it were. And I've already got my costume. I found it today at the Goodwill. And I'm so excited.
I have it as well. Well, actually, no, I don't have my costume. It's supposed to get here on Monday. We'll see.
Oh, I was like, that's going to be too late, but I forget what day it is. You're going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
I have 1 week to figure that stuff out.
I think it'll be great. You could honestly just dress as yourself. Put your old man shawl back on.
I'll dress as old Matt.
Yeah, older Matt.
Like from younger
I found a
Matt.
picture on my
Just as
phone
younger
today
Matt.
of the three of us where you're wearing that exact outfit I described yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. It was us at the academy, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It was in my memories today.
Fine.
I'm going to post it on our Twitter.
Look at me now, top of the
Of
world.
I'm
Post it on the
top
Twitter.
of the world.
Yeah, I'll look for a costume. I'll figure
Ask
it
Erin
out.
to make you one,
Erin's
I
giving me
said.
some ideas. I have an idea as well.
You have an
No,
idea?
tell her it's really important.
I have a couple
What
ideas.
what are your ideas?
Well, do you want to spoil it?
I don't know if I'll
Tell me the ones
spoil
you're not going to do.
I don't know if I'm doing it. So my original idea, this is my original idea. I was going to have a poster size or larger printout of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze, like VHS tape. I was going to cut a hole out for my face,
Oh my gosh.
and I was just going to be
That's
the
great.
box.
That's a good idea.
But I didn't do
Yet.
it yet. So it also they wouldn't tell me how much money it was going to be. I was trying to do all on my phone, so I just didn't put it through. I was going to send it to FedEx and just pick it up.
Oh, Matt, you can do this, Matt.
So
I will
how
help
much?
you. Do you
How
want
much
to do
was
this?
it? You didn't get to the next part to see how much.
It said it wouldn't tell me
Oh.
the total, and when I was trying to go through it, and I was like, I kept pressing buttons, hoping to just like finally give me the total, and just never would. And I was like, well, I don't want to pay $50
Yeah.
for this.
I think it's going to be at least $50. But we can get this. So here's what you do. You get one of those like 8-foot chloroplast sheets that they have at like sign stores and stuff like that, and you print it on that, and then you just cut a hole out of the top of it.
Or
Done.
you draw it.
How much? I don't know. Some monies.
You color it in.
Or you get a fridge box, and you ghetto this thing, and then you just you Crayola the mess out of that thing.
No, I want the legit thing.
Well,
I'm here for it.
Well, we'll see. Okay, we'll figure it out. Hey, come in, join us next Friday at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Time for
More of the Free
for
Play
our costume
podcast.
parade.
It's not are we gonna go by on our?
I don't know. In my aunt's neighborhood and my cousin's neighborhood, they always do these way over the top like celebrations for everything, and they do a kids costume parade, so we could go and participate in that. Get some
Pass.
candy.
Thanks though. You ship me the candy. I'm gonna be
You
right
know,
here.
I'd like some candy. I don't know what my favorite Halloween candy is.
Is it
not
candy corn pizza?
No, I like Airheads a lot, and like sour stuff and
What color Sour Patch?
blue.
If you had, because Facebook is always listening to me now. I saw that you can get a package of just whatever color Sour Patch you want.
Just one color.
Whatever you want. What
Maybe
color?
that's how I got that jacked up bag of Sour Patches.
You didn't choose the right one. Yeah.
What's your Sour Patch flavor of choice?
Blue.
That's not a flavor.
blue raspberry.
Blue Blast.
Blue raspberry.
Blue blast.
Blue
Yeah, blue
raspberry.
blast.
I do like red. Blue and red are good.
The older I get, the more I just don't really love candy. I guess I'll have to take an Almond Joy or something.
Did I tell you the other day that Almond Joy, that's the most, Almond Joy and York Peppermint Patties, that's, and Werther's Originals, that's what Matt likes.
Hey, my Gammy loves Werther's Originals. She seriously does. She has them in her purse at all times.
They're
That's why I'm
tasty.
like, Gammy, I want a snack. She gets out of Werther's and gives it to me to be quiet.
I'm making jokes, but those are
out
like
your
three that I
hands.
really enjoy. Like I like,
Yeah, you can't rip on
I
me.
really
I know.
like, we got
I know
old
it's
souls.
good. Hey, respect your elders.
But I mean, like I don't know, man. Like, did I tell you the other day when I was at the fall retreat that I ate too much candy? Have I shared this story with you?
No.
Okay.
No.
So real quick, and then we'll close the show
ready.
out. So real.
This is
real
the
quick, here's-
final
okay.
story.
So we get
This is the final
there,
story.
and like I get there like 5 o'clock, and then the first set is not till 9, and I'm like, what is happening? What
Plenty
is
of time to eat
happening?
candy, yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we did. So we like because you go back there and it's a youth retreat. So like in the green room or whatever, there's like just a bunch of like candy,
Green room.
a bunch of candy back there.
Candy room.
And
Ideal.
so I have to imagine this was what it was like backstage for KSM because they were just babies. They couldn't like have anything. So
No,
like
we had hummus.
being at a Christian conference and then also being backstage at a teenagers event, I'm sure is basically the same thing. And so like there's just a bunch of candy there, and then they had these little sweet tart balls. Like, have you seen these things? They're the best.
Are they chewy or like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not crunchy, but you can. They're kind of hard on the outside, but you can chew through them.
Okay. Yeah.
I can eat those things by the truckload, and I did, and that was a bad idea because. From about 5 p.m. to about 2 a.m., I had a steady diet of candy.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I'm
Caleb
jacked. No, this is how he eats candy. I'm totally.
Oh, that Avon does too. Avon,
yeah, I'm totally jacked, right? Like I'm just like, it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, you guys want to go? I don't know, push a car up a hill or something like that. Like let's go. And so I finally lay down to go to sleep at like 2:30. And I don't sleep basically at all the whole night.
Oh, well, that's a rookie mistake.
Because I had a tummy ache.
Never do that.
I haven't had a tummy ache, and
Actually,
that's the accurate word. I haven't had a tummy ache since I was 12. Like I had too much candy.
Can I confess something?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I just said that Matt and I would never do that, and I forgot how last Wednesday we went to the movies for my uncle's birthday. You could rent out a whole theater here for $100 for 20 people.
It's crazy how cheap it is.
And so we did that, and all the candy was half off. So I was like, Steven, we got to buy as much as we can carry.
Yeah, because it was just normal price.
Fill the truck. Let's go.
Yeah, so I got all this candy. I just got like Red Vines and Sour Patch Kids, and I thought, oh, that's no big deal. I can put that away easily in one sitting, and like a Coke. Put that all away easily. Well, I couldn't go to sleep because my stomach hurt.
No.
And Steven was like, I told you that was a lot. You
guys are not the
candy.
bosses of your own stomach. That's the problem. You have to be the boss.
I was having the weirdest dreams because of my Candy Crush Rush tummy ache.
Your candy
tummy? so like we're all of the tech team we're like in they call it the upper room, and it's like a bunch of bunk beds because the Bible, yes, Christian stuff. And so but we're in bunk beds, right? And so like anytime you move in a bunk bed, it goes
and your stomach going kill me.
Either you kill me or you die, like one or the other. And so like it was, I can't even explain the sensation, but like I was, every time I moved, I was like in between dream state and real life, and every time I moved, it was like I was in this middle dream state of playing this weird game of Among Us with everybody in the cabin. And so it was weird, dude. Like anytime that I would move, it was like you would like feel the presence of somebody else who might or might not be the imposter. And it was so weird. I was
That's really creepy, actually.
I was getting like the like the night sweats. I call it
I call it
sweat in the bed.
Candy sweats.
Like when you wake up in a puddle of your own, you don't wet the bed, you sweat the bed, Like when you wake up in like a back puddle of all kinds of, funny bodily juices.
Yeah, you're really selling me on this candy stuff.
Well, just don't eat it for 12 hours and I think you're going to be fine. But anyway, that's why you shouldn't eat candy.
Okay.
So next week's Halloween.
Yep. Are we ready?
Yeah. We're giving all the candy away.
We'll talk about all sorts of fun things like Halloween getting canceled or not getting canceled, depending on where you live or if you decide to do it. All that and more next week. But we are going to be dressing up. So if you, good listener and or watcher here on Twitch, if you want to dress up and there you go. If you want to dress up and you want to hit us up on Twitter at Freeplay Podcast and show us your cosplay, if you don't celebrate Halloween, or your Halloween costume, we would love to see it. Absolutely 100% love to see it. But you're also going to want to come back and be here 3 p.m. Eastern. Looks like we've been going for right about an hour and a half-ish. We're kind of dragging it out, but
sorry, not sorry.
Come and hang out with us for about an hour and a half, 2 hours or so of your time. This is a normal streaming time frame for us anyway. Usually when Matt and I and Frost will stream. But you're going to want to come and hang out with us because we're going to be doing giveaways in between the segments for those people that are here live on Twitch. So
sweet.
Do you want to give away a copy of like some spoopy games.
Probably, yeah. That was some of the stuff I was going to get in the works. We've got some people in some places, so
don't worry about it, Matt. It'll all work out.
Yeah, why don't you just mind your business?
I hope one of the games is Friday the 13th on NES.
No, it won't be. No,
it will never be.
Nobody needs that game.
Games. If they do, they want to.
Excuse me? What did you say?
You heard what he mumbled. Yeah.
Shoot it.
I think the post-processing will catch that one. Man. But hey, thank you so much for hanging out with us. That's going to do it for this episode of the Free Play Podcast, episode 106. Be sure to check us out.
We're doing it.
SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, radio.com. Now on Twitch every Friday, every-ish Friday, sometimes on Fridays.
Yeah.
At 3 p.m. Eastern time. And also on LTN Radio. You can get that, ltnonair.com or at LTN, or at, what is LTN On Air?
On.
I'm just going to figure it out. Yeah,
at LTN On Air.
lovethatnerd.com/
I think
if
it's
that doesn't work,
LTN.com/.
just keep trying.
Yeah, radio stuff. But there's a billion different ways that you can find us. Go to lovethatnerd.com and you'll figure it out. Hey, if you're not already a part of the Love Thy Nerd Facebook group, just do it. Make it one of your life goals. All you got to do is answer one question. It's what's up, nerd? And then we let Skynet decide if you can come in or not. Spoiler alert, all you got to do is answer the question.
It's a magical process.
If you invite somebody to that group, tell them. Again, Facebook is hot garbage and treats everything. If you invite somebody, they will never know. It just treats everything. It tells us on the admin side that they want to come in. But we know if they don't answer the question that they really don't. So you got to tell people that you've invited them. Just let them know they got to answer that question. But I would say more importantly than that, head on over to Discord. LoveThyNerd.com/Discord or !Discord in the chat here on Twitch and be a part of that. That's the one. That's the hotness. That's hibbity hoppity. Give me the zappity. And so like you want to be there. We talk about all sorts of stuff. There are tons of places for you to go and hang out and be. And so please go join our Discord, lovethynerd.com/Discord. You can also find Love Thy Nerd on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Love Thy Nerd on all three of them channels. And as always, be sure to follow the Free Play Podcast on Twitter at Free Play Podcast.
Killer content. I've really been pumping out that killer content.
I don't know how we're going to top Luigi Body Pillow, but
I don't think we are. So
here it comes. Well, hey, once again, I'm Bubba Stallcup.
I'm Matt Warmbier.
I'm Kate Katawaki.
And for our cut man, Jonathan Clausen, we'll catch you next week right here on twitch.tv/LoveThyNerd for some costumes.
Wow.
And if nobody else tells you this, remember it's true. Jesus loves you, nerds.
You have been listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. Be sure to rate and review the show and share on all the social media.
There's a lot of people playing Hades, like in the chat and just in general.
It's pronounced Hades.
No, it's not.
Hades, yeah.